Thank you. Working. Thank you. I continue with the last panelist, future panelist, Vincent. I thank you, Jen, for also introducing us to the topic of actual practice, artistic practice. This is what the project is about. And I think the concept of translation can be taken over later in the discussion. And I think it's also a good translation to what you told me before you want to talk about. Vincent Rumahloine is an interdisciplinary artist, researcher, and socially engaged practitioner based in Bandung, Indonesia. His work operates at the intersection of contemporary art and community activism. So I think it's yet kind of another kind of coordinates that we haven't explored yet. He focused on themes of displacement, uprooted identities, and the recovery of erased histories. And he brings to the discussion this professional background, which is grassroots advocacy, community building, and also health-focused engagement. He works through institutions and communities. He's founder and director of Rakarsa Foundation and other numerous projects. And as he was telling me today, this is really part of the parasiting practice. He will explain to us and how he, as the taking the parasiting position, is able to produce this space and then also to leave it. Thank you, Vincent. You have that.
Yes, thank you, Chiara. Okay, first of all, thank you for Jacob and everyone who organized this. We met last year and then we talked briefly, and Matilda also, and through friends, like it's very organic way we met, and then finally, and we know each other, and then I think we have a same practice, let's say. So that's short stories, and then a year later, I'm here, and then we work together. So that's how my works. So through very casual meeting, and then suddenly become something. So I'm going to show you a bit about. I put the title of my presentation is Akal. Akalan is a local term in Indonesia. It means like in English, the act using cleverness or tricks to achieve a specific goal. Sometimes it's negative, but it also can be used in a positive way. It depends again. So the term typically refers to use of ingenuity to deceive, manipulate, or find a shortcut. So this is what I often see on the streets of Indonesia. So just to be clear, like most of my work is like that I show today is like happening in Indonesia with the local context of Indonesia. So like I think it's already said before that every parasite have their own way of surviving. So they have own way how to make a decision about certain situation. So it's really depending on the ecosystem where the parasite lives or where the parasite stay in the host. So that's what I saw. It's very challenging in a way for this panel, and because you will see different kind of practices and then how to find a right way. There is no right way. You need to be on the presence to see what happened and then to observe. So that's what I see. So I'm using a lot of akal-akalan. I learned it from the streets. So from the streets of Bandung, where I came from. So I call like Workaround, McGyverying, MacGyver, like the famous USA film, like, and then street smart and guerrilla tactics. So, like this. Okay, so Genesis, the survival instinct. So to be sure, I will give you a context of Indonesia briefly. So as you know, as many countries in Asia, we've been colonized for 100 years by Dutch, British, Spanish, Portuguese, Japan, and Java. Java is like another island where everything in Java. Java centrism, that's another topic, so we can talk about this later. So, and highlight the system and standard from the colonial era is still used until now. Law education. So imagine, there is a parasiting things coming from outside. They left something and then they let us to adapt. So in order to do this, we need to re-parasite them again, So political and economical turbulence, we always have it. So in 1965, there's a big political situation. 1998, economic crisis. That's when I grew up. Why? It's important. I will let you know later. So for example, today, 1 euro is 20,400 rupiah. So 1 meal in Bandung is 15,000. So less than 1 euro, you got 1 meal. So that's how big euro is back in Indonesia. That's why it's very important to parasiting funding from Europe to be able to survive. So, and then corruption, etc. I think it's everywhere in the world. Art structure and infrastructure, the support structure for the arts in Indonesia is incomplete because we took it from the West. And then it's not complete, There is a school, there is a museum, but there is no art critic. So it's quite like crazy. So, and then this is also very important. The understanding of time, it's very different from Germany with Indonesia, let's say. In Indonesia, like, time is very different in different places. Like we know, like, time is relative, right? So in Indonesia, for like, just wait, no problem. Here, oh my God, it's really make people like, let's say, anxious. So this is also influencing on how you make a decision in the specific situation in Indonesia. So just to be clear about that. So next, so this is about myself. So I came from the east, so eastern part of Indonesia. So I moved to Java. The distance is like from Berlin to Istanbul, so it's far. Everything's different. Skin color, names, you mentioned it, it's very different. So I need to adapt with the new situation that mostly Muslim, and then the eastern part, it's mostly Catholic and Christian. So I need to live, since I was a kid, with this situation of adaptation. So, and then I grew up in 1998, the economic crisis. So I lose all the access to choose my education. So I want to study in one school, and then my mom said like, So she mentioned it in a different way, but I know what she meant. We don't have the money, so you need to go to this school. So, and then meals, so it means like I don't have like breakfast and lunch, so I only have like dinner. So I always trying to find how to parasiting other places to get money or to get free meals. So, and you are your own more or less. So I was my own is until high school. So I it's hard to depend to my family. So, and then Parasite as a tool. Parasite is not merely about hitching a ride, but it's instrumental for survival. For my case, I have no other option. And in the beginning, this tool is going into very wrong direction. So like I mentioned before, I don't have meals, so I need to parasiting in one restaurant to be able to steal food without them knowing it. So it's also related with the next. Learn that the position that the hardest to suspect and detect are those closest to the vital system. So this is what I do, in the restaurant. I have a really close connection with the owner. So when I take food, the last person they're going to suspect is me. So I can do it like for long, and then I saw my friend who cannot eat also. So I teach this to my friend. And then, I don't know, this has become like a viral, let's say at that time. And one time in my high school, they said like, okay, please everyone pay your meal because 100 people then not paying, So, and I like, shit, this is problem. So I just stopping, this is why I said like, okay, this is going into the wrong direction. So that's maybe a failure that I start with the parasiting, but it works. So yeah, I think the chameleon of economics. So I see economics is like about trading. So the shift in roles, so I change roles, but my identity is always the same. So, but rather operational of camouflage tactic. To hack into different system, I must speak their language. So since I was growing as a, let's say, outsider, so I study the language, the local language, the customs. So it makes me, let's say, ethnographer since I was a kid. To be able to adapt, I need to understand, I need to learn so I can be with them. I respect the rules, the customs, the game, so acknowledging the opposing side and avoid open warfare. and choosing instead to infiltrate the cracks within the bureaucracy. I will show you later about the projects. So shifting roles, I started as an admin, operator, artist, pro boxing manager, and then curator, punk band manager, teacher, artist, etc. This is a real role, and then I really enjoying and how I use this role to extract some resources and then redistribute it. And then transferring fields, so maneuvering through spectrum of economy. So I start from a personal project, and I think, and I start like, when it reaches certain point, it need to change into institutional. Basically like this, like 10,000 euro, like in Europe, they can give you through you directly. But it started 60 and 70, you need institution. That's what I learned in the system of European funding, which is I study like really deep, so I know the keyword, I know when the changing of the keyword of, let's say, oh, now it's about ecology, and now it's about transplanetary. You can mention all these fancy words, so it's very important for me to understand because I need to move from this, and then socio-political organization. I involve also with political party, not directly, I will explain later. And state structures, and down to the information of the black market. What is black market? It's like information that happen behind. To be able to hack, you need to know what is murmuring behind the real situation. You need to know how the information holding in the small restaurant that all the politicians talk about some new law or some new policies. So it leads me to this situation. And then the last one is like institutional access. So changing positional roles from parasite to host to build infrastructure to give wider access to the community. So I started as a parasite, and then at one point I changed my role into host. And then the community that I work become parasiting me. At the end I leave and then become the parasite by themselves, and I move host, let's say. So to be easy like that. Okay. And then the next one is about like guerrilla tactics. So this is 3 projects that I will later explain. It's like moving museums, so occupying private place and public space using parasiting approach. So, and then Rumah Cemara is like a boxing camp. So I form a boxing camp to serving as a space for social intervention, utilizing sport as a tool for positive parasitism within the urban ecosystem. So this boxing camp I started in the HIV and AIDS community because they need like to sport because they don't accept it in different gym, for example. But we understand that actually the problem with the discrimination is actually about we are not opening ourselves. So I said like, why don't we just start opening and then invite my friends to come? And then it's getting bigger, the boxing gym become professional and they need manager. And then I become the manager, and then I have one pro boxer, and the match is like in the television, national TV, and we won. So that's good. So, and also we invite marginalized community to train with us. For example, the transgender community, they come and train with us, not for fighting, but to run faster, because they always get hit on the street. So if you people coming, want to hit you, you can run fast with your, ability with let's boxing, So, and then this is what we do, and then it leads me to the security world in the city, because boxing gym and security in the nightclub, it's connected, and it's also connected with the political party. So, and then you become like, okay, know everything, and then you can use it for anyway. And then Jelakongism is my latest project, like I just started like in 2019. So my project mostly like 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. So, and then challenging the hegemony of the Western painting through mass distribution patterns, infiltrating the art market via volume and local alliance. So this is my latest project. I'm entering the art market, So, and then I try to start working with 2 collectors now, which is they bought like my first exhibition, they bought half of it, which is good, for a starter in an art market. So, okay, so I'm going to give you one example. It's a funny one. I don't know this has happened with your case or my friend in Indonesia, but I check to my friend, no one knows about this. It's crazy. It's infiltrating the host, it's cultural ambassador hack. So every time I go abroad or workshops like this, I always contact the embassy to ask them to stay in their, let's say, host, let's say house. Because in Indonesia context, every embassy in Indonesia, they have like one house for, let's say, representative who come, They have a really nice house in a very beautiful place. But, mostly the politicians don't want to stay here. They want to like in a fancy hotel. So it's always empty. So, but they have the money for it. So I contact them. I using a diplomatic status to gain access to material and non-material resources. For example, in Addis Ababa, I stay for 1.5 months in the embassy with all the facilities, with all the drivers, just because like I want to do this, I want to do like art program. Like, oh, yeah, why not? They said like they're really happy because I use their language, So I explain it like cultural diplomacy, this kind of like bullshit stuff, and then like so yeah, okay, just come, and then I stayed there for 1.5 months. I got like a driver, and everything, so it's good. But this is only for me. So what I did is like, I know curator in Addis Ababa, and then I said to him like, so I asked for marijuana to him, and he gave me marijuana. Okay, in exchange, I will give you one project in the embassy. Do you want it? Yeah, let's go. And I met with the ambassador, and I said like, do you know like some program? Like, yeah. They said like, yeah, next year we want to have like a exhibition about like blah, 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 but we need like someone from here. The problem with cultural ambassador or like cultural attaché is like they do not know nothing about the city. They just accepting orders, so, and then, okay, and then I invite him for a dinner, and then they meet, and then I left back to Indonesia, and then a year later, he became the curator. Yes, so it happens. So it's like redistributing again. So I already gained like, okay, I will do something for the people here. So yeah, so again, so now it's more like a visuals, now not more text. So this is my first project, Under the Bridge. So this is the project with Chevrolet with Manchester United. So we transpose this field into this. So I become the project manager of this. So this is when I know, and I kind of like tricking the situation to hire people around the neighborhood to work in this project. So everyone got money. So from this, I know a lot of people from the government until the gangster on the street, because everyone got, let's say, got something from this, So and then I start like next project there. I make a studio there for my family portrait project. So I made in house because I started to know them. What I did is like I do home visits. I do 80 houses to home visits. So okay. So and then after that, I make a family portrait project. I can do it faster here. So since I got the connections with the people, so families, and then from each families, I ask their personal belongings to be exhibited in my moving museum. So I have a museum. So this is the museum. So all inside the museum is a personal project, but this is a critique towards the Western museum. So I borrow, not take it, because it's very tempting, because because you already know them. And it's like, Vincent, if you want to take it, it's fine. No. I said, no. I just want to borrow for 2 weeks, and then the week after I will return it. Since this is all belong to the family, everyone like really happy about this building. Their personal story, somehow it's emerging, and then everyone knows about the story. So this is why I able to take this space, because I know the gangsters. The gangsters run the parking space, and then also for the shops on the street. So I asked them, I want to occupy 2 by 2. Is it possible? And it's like, yeah, why? You want to start a business? No, I want to make a museum. Okay, what else? And then they said, what else? And then I made this, and everyone happy because their family being involved in this. So this is like about my boxing gym. So I got invited in the one big art fair in Bandung in my campus, and then I built the boxing gym inside on the field, and then I invite my friend from like, this is a transgender community who dance, and then I want to show this is possible, to put everyone in one place without any friction. it happens. And then there is a boxing for kids, and then this is one important paramilitary. So since you're going into security, so security is connected with the political party. So the political party run this paramilitary group. So I work with them since the guy in the second one is my good friend because of boxing. And he asked like, Vincent, we want to start like our new, the card. We want to have like a nice pictures, and I take pictures. Since I take pictures of them, so I know all the security on the nightclub, and then sometimes on the streets. This is really interesting because there is one performing artist festival held in one area, and they got kicked out by them. And then they are like, because the artists, they know only me, and then they call me, Vincent, do you know like this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's my friend. Yeah, we kicked them out. Why? I said, they don't ask permission towards us. And they're like, oh, because the problem with the art scene, sometimes they just seeing them as a, opposite. And then they don't want to collaborate. They don't want to sit down and talk, And then I said like, what actually they need? Yeah, just come and then give us like some coffee, and then we have a coffee, and then all done. It's very simple, between human, just human to human. So, and then, this is, before I finish, I will talk about like rules of engagement. There is no open war. So I respect my opponent, like I said in the beginning, but if war is needed, I'm more than ready. So just in case we need a war, I will go down to the war. But let's no war. But if we need, I will go down. And then honesty as a barrier. For me, honesty is very important to serve as not as a camouflage, but as a form of self-protection. And then consent and confrontation. So the rules of the game emerge organically during the course of the paradigm intervention. So confrontation, I mean like at one point when you work with community, you need to confront them just to see, do they react or not? If they react, it means they already own the project. So this is the sign when I can leave, because the ownership is shifting, not only me, but through them. So this I can tell you later. It's too long, but this is my other project about the power of the mothers. So I give mothers a uniform and a logo to make them more together, and then they work together with this, like community. Let's say they build and they grow food, and then they do this, and then we also make music for kids, for the mothers. They have kids, and then they make recording. So it's good. And then we also have like theater, and then so it's growing. It's the money is from Germany, by the way. They pay me for 3 years to share the money all to them. And then we also invite like some people from the government. And then this is the line when I confront them, and then they say like, okay, they start to give opinion, and then this is the time when I can shift, And then this is when I shifted to the foundation. So I have foundation like Prakarsa. So I switched let's say the program to them. So because as a foundation, you can go further than me, So now it's shifting. So after this, I don't get any credit. The credit is moving, So it's become like a foundation and them as a group. So that's the sum of the project. So I will show later. So this is the closing. This is very important. I stopped to liberate myself from this Robin Hood curse and liberate the community. So I think yesterday there is a question of liberation. For me, it's important as a starting point. You don't think to liberate anyone because you might get liberated. So, the position needs to be equal first. And then when you enter the community, most of the time I got liberated. And what I say like about Robin Hood curse, because on the film, it's always Robin Hood and their team going somewhere, steal, and then give it to the community. Why not the community start to do something? The Robin Hood need to go out, need to let go. I think the very important as a parasite, when to let go. so the other parasite or the other things can attach and can start something. So breaking the savior complex, I think this is the problem with the artist. The temptation is always to play the hero, the Robin Hood. Yeah, everyone want to be the Robin Hood. No one want to be the the people in the Nottingham, right? The place. Yeah, yeah. Like always like Robin Hood is coming. Yeah, we got food, and then done. And then Robin Hood again, Robin Hood again, Robin Hood again. We need another Robin Hood, maybe Robin or Samantha Wood or someone I don't know. But we need another. The temptation is always play, and then goalless liberation. It is important for me to start without a rigid goal of empowerment, because we never know who is actually liberated and empowered. So, thank you.